Anime Addicts, this podcast is brought to you by our lovely Anime Addicts community, keeping this podcast ad-free. If you want to help support the show, get all of our exclusive content, free access to the Discord, show notes, and of course that warm feeling you get inside when you do a good thing, you can go to our Patreon page, or you can go to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join. That'll get you to where you can support the show. You get all of our exclusive goodies. And again, you'll be helping out your favorite podcast. And now, it's time to start the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome in to episode 790 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. It's your favorite trio back at it again. The thunder, that is Caroline.
Hey.
The lightning, that is Mason. Hey.
Yo.
And the downpour.
Wait, what? You went with you second?
You weren't in the Hobby Addicts today.
You weren't in the Hobby Addicts. You just don't get
in
it.
the in crew, but if you listener want to be in the in crew, go to AAA Podcast and support us, or just be cool like Andrew and just be invited in. The rain that comes down and crushes the earth with his sassiness beyond compare. How's it going, everybody? It's another episode where we get to make everyone's anime addiction so much worse. And glad to have you here today. We got a big show, big iceberg size juiciness to talk about. But as always, find us over at AAAPodcast.com. Once again, submit your mailbags of questions and things you want us to answer. See our future reviews. Put in your Shark Tank submissions. And if you want that sweet, sweet Hobby Addicts, that hentai episodes, those after parties, that bonus content that makes you go doki doki at night, I don't want to talk to you because that's a little creepy, but you do it all over there and it helps us do our thing over here. So thank you so much. Big news is next week, while we normally stream every Sunday live at 5 p.m. Eastern, might be changing the schedule. We might be streaming at 11 a.m. or maybe 10 a.m. It hasn't been determined yet.
11.
It'll be in the morning next Sunday. People are out doing things and we just can't be staying up late. So that's the plan for next week. So if you're one of our live listeners, there's your heads up. And if you're not usually one of our live listeners, you might be able to check us out for once. So head on over to YouTube or Twitch to do the thing. Caroline, what is Anime Club up to this week?
Well, we will be having our next club the Wednesday after this. So I believe, let me plug up the date. Wednesday 13th. Or, yeah, August the 13th. Don't know what I was saying Wednesday 13th for. August 13th at 9 p.m. ET, we will be discussing the movie The Legend of Hei, which is a Chinese animation. And a movie again, so it's going to be an easy watch for everybody. You can join us for that. It will be really fun, I'm sure. It's a great movie. I remember Mason and I talked about it for Unexplored Pictures.
Forever ago. And hopefully it still holds up. But that's all in our Discord, all free. Great place to hang out, watch anime clubs, airing shows, old shows, meet like-minded folks. It's a good time. It's a good place. As always, go to AAADiscord.com to quick link it there, or you're an internet savvy person. If you're listening to me right now, you can find our Discord, and it's well worth it. In this episode today, our main topic will be a listener mailbag turned main topic, which is making our iceberg chart of directors, I guess you'd call it. We're going to go through a bunch of famous anime directors and kind of rank them on their popularity scale based on very arbitrary vibes and see where that lands. As well as we will be continuing our impressions of summer 2025. This is round 2, so we will be talking about The Summer Hikaru Died, Reborn as a Vending Machine Season 2, Bullet Bullet, Detectives These Days Are Crazy, and Secrets of the Silent Witch. So we got a lot to get to, folks. Any other things we got to bring up? Any housekeeping things before we kick off the big news of the week?
No, I don't think so.
Let's do it then.
You know what? If you are listening to this, you're probably listening to this right as I will be in the middle of the anime convention here in Montreal. If you are coming to Otakuthon, the anime convention in Montreal, say hi if you see me running down the halls. You probably won't see me because I know all the secret passages. But, I'm there in spirit.
Exactly. A little gremlin just scampering, growing through the crawl vents up top, just dropping in on folks. Anyway, go do it. Anyway.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
So for my big news of the week, and one of the directors we might be talking about very shortly, we got the trailer reveal for Mamoru Hosoda's new anime film Scarlet. This is the director known for Boy and the Beast, Mirai, Belle, and the now soon-to-be Scarlet movie. The film centers around a princess named Scarlet who crosses space and time to enact revenge. Her father, the king, was murdered, and her attempt at vengeance failed, so she wakes up in the land of the dead. And this was interesting to me because Hosoda has always been kind of a oddball when it comes to his movies. He's making movies that he wants to make, and he stated that this film, and besides doing the screenplay and directing, is that he says the film is not 2D animation or quote-unquote Hollywood-style CG. He is aiming for a completely new look, and it will have a completely different feel to his past work. So I was kind of curious to see what a new-looking Hosoda film looks like. Now we got the trailer. Have either of you guys seen this yet? Are you excited about it? Are you ambivalent to it? Because
It's my first time hearing about it.
yeah, so this was announced, the film, at least, that it was in the works last December. So it's been like 8 months or so since we've heard about this film as a property. And now that the trailer's out, I'm kind of mixed on it. It's definitely just a fusion of CG and hand-drawn animation, but it definitely does not look like a typical Hosoda film. And it's just going for something big and epic. And while some shots definitely look neat, overall, I'm kind of on the fence on how it's gonna work. So, I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer.
I've always been like on the fence about Hosoda stuff. There's the only movie that I've watched that I've actually found memorable and liked was Wolf Children. Like Summer Wars, The Girl Who Left Through Time. Those movies I barely remember watching or enjoying. So, yeah, probably not.
Well, if you are interested, the film opens in Japan on November 21st and in the US on December 12th. And I probably wouldn't check it out right now as it stands. I think I need a little more to sell me on it. But if it comes to streaming, if it comes out online, which it inevitably will, I might give it a shot then. So that's there's my big news. What do you got, Caroline?
Well, it seems that the LA Dodgers will be hosting a Demon Slayer event on August 15th. They will be having a home game then. The event starts at 7:10 p.m. And the partnership will have a stadium-wide giveaway of co-branded hats celebrating the upcoming film Infinity Castle. And it will also be supported by pregame and in-game promotions, an activation in the Centerfield Plaza, whatever that means, and a ceremonial first pitch. I wonder who will be doing that. That will there be cosplayers or mascots or things like that? I have to wonder.
I assume so. We've seen anime ceremonial first pitches where someone just comes out in the big blobby Pikachu outfit or the Luffy or whatever. So I'd imagine it'd be a Tanjiro.
Maybe. They also have a Demon Slayer Infinity Castle drone show that night, which that could be pretty cool. Yeah, so just as a more of a background, if you haven't heard, Infinity Castle Akazai Sairai, it's the first film in the trilogy to conclude the series. It opened on July 18th in Japan and is set to open on September 12th here in the United States and in Canada. So I wonder how this is gonna go. It seems pretty cool, though. I can only imagine people who are not at all into anime or don't know what Demon Slayer is. They're just there to watch the Dodgers, and this entire night is just anime themed. That must be pretty crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, I think we've seen, because they've done previously, have done One Piece nights and things like that as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
if
yeah?
I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, right? So, and you'd be surprised, especially with the more people in like their mid-20s to 30s range. There is a lot more anime overlap with sports fandom now, especially with the shonen genre. So, I think some of the older people are going to be like, I don't know what all of this is, but it's definitely a way to get, especially, middle-aged people into like baseball with their kids in a way, because their kids are probably watching Demon Slayer or the One Piece or all those kinds of different anime. So I like the fact that it feels like this is also something you can only really do in LA as
Yeah.
well. So, but you know what, New York Yankees, get on this shit. Get on this
I
shit.
know.
Do these kinds of things.
I think the Red Sox had a One Piece night, so yes, LA is very geared towards this kind of thing. It does infiltrate the big markets. I guess
Oh,
I
it
was
was Red
thinking,
Sox. Okay.
people always bet on things like the Super Bowl, color of the like Gatorade for the winning team and stuff. Who do we think is going to throw the first pitch? Assuming it is a Demon Slayer character, do you think it's Zenitsu, Tanjiro, Nezuko, Inosuke? Like who would you guess?
It could be like a whole group of them. There's
A whole
multiple people
squadron.
up for a pitch, and just one of them pitches.
Gotcha. Is that what you're putting fake money on?
I'm thinking that's a possibility.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say it's gonna be the voice actor for Tanjiro dressed up as Tanjiro.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like a Tanjiro, but not necessarily, a big name person doing it. But I like your ambition. We will see who's right and who's wrong by the end. A very shirtless Inosuke would be very funny though. So, Andrew, what's your big news of the week?
So this is more video game related and Lego related and Nintendo related. So a whole bunch of intersections of my various fandoms. And it turns out that a week and a half ago, I don't know if this has been on the news. I might have missed it already, but Lego announced a Lego Game Boy that you can build. And they made a whole commercial in the 80s, 90s style for it, which is pretty funny. And I would recommend everybody check out. And you can check out the link to the article, which has the trailer or the commercial in it in our show notes. And it comes with 2 cartridges. In the commercial, it says not playable. It makes sure to say that, but it does come with so basically you're going to be able to remake the build in Lego, and I kind of actually excited for this. The original Game Boy, it's not playable, but looks like it could be. It comes with some cartridges you can put in the back, and it comes with lenticulars that you can slide in to change the different the screen, so it looks like there's like the old classic Game Boy style on it. For all of you Americans, it is $60 USD. It's set to come out on October 1st, and that's actually a pretty solid price. We would find for not the theming, which obviously adds some additional cost to it, and for the amount of pieces, which it looks to be. It doesn't say how many pieces
It's
it is.
421 according to this image, which is a little low for that price, but honestly, for like you said, the corporate crossover and just kind of aesthetics of it, seems appropriate for modern day Lego.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a lot of small pieces, probably, which is why otherwise usually like, because this feels like this would be something that is in their more adult series, and those tend to cost more just even with the smaller pieces. But yeah, no, this is pretty solid. This fits all the nostalgia. I'm looking forward to it. I hope there aren't stickers. I hate putting on stickers on Lego. I hope it's actually just printed on directly to the pieces, because I actually do hate putting stickers on the Lego. I always get it just slightly off, and it's just off center, and it just kind of bugs me. Just give me the printed, just print it on.
Is that your
it's like, it's only going to be
bane
used for this anyway.
of Gundam building is the stickers? Is that like the part that you're like, oh no, here we go again?
I hate putting stickers on my Gunpla when I used to do it. Oh my god, it's the worst. And that's why people paint, because
Yeah.
they hate putting on the stickers. So, yeah, but I thought this was really fun. I look forward to it. I'm definitely gonna probably pick one up, and in theory, I should probably pick two up, put one in a box, and then wait to sell it later and never sell it. But I'm definitely gonna get that and build it, and then like display it because it's like a nice little display piece, I would say.
So this is the OG Game Boy.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to come out with like the
color,
colors,
the Game Boy
the
Advance.
Advance, the SP, aka the best Game Boy ever?
No,
Don't at
I
me.
think nostalgia and how people think about nostalgia, they only are going to go for the first one. So for like a lot of people, like maybe the SP and the game, or it would be like one of the ones that people remember fondly. But there is something just so iconic and simple about the original Game Boy
Yeah.
that I mean, if you go to what is it, Nintendo the Nintendo store in New York, you can see one I think that survived the A bomb.
Yeah,
I think they
it was
still have
so
that
cool. I've
display.
seen that. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
So, and they have like a mini museum of like with all like cool like all the consoles Nintendo has put out at the Nintendo store. But I just like that this exists, and I want to own one to put on. I never owned the original Game Boy. I owned the Color. That was my first Game Boy, but the original Game Boy is still kind of iconic in my opinion.
Yeah. Have you pre-ordered it yet?
Nah, I think it's not. Like with a lot of Lego sets, I don't think you need to pre-order. It's just getting it while it's out.
Gotcha.
More
Okay.
often than not. So, and I think this will be pretty available because it is Lego tends to like produce a lot. It's just like once the initial print run is done, they're not going to make more, and that's why Lego skyrockets in price after the fact. It's because they just don't produce anymore. Like when a run is done. They might reimagine a close-ish set, but it will be different enough. The same thing, but slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
yeah.
see, that's me and the Hallmark ornaments. It's the same thing because
I
they
get
also
it.
have limited edition stuff. And then the next year they might come out with like another ornament of the same fandom or maybe a slightly different posing of the character or something like that. But
Oh no, I get
that's a
it.
pretty little price on eBay sometimes.
Wouldn't be surprised. I just saw that the Goofy movie one is coming to Canada soon, so I might pick it up here, and it might be cheaper here because it's the same price as the American one. And I'm like, obviously I'm buying that. So we'll see. Yeah, good
Nice.
times.
Well, with that, we will jump on over to our main topic, which is Director Iceberg, or Iceberg Director. I forget what I called it. So this comes from a mailbag that was submitted by Ahegao, who says, "Hey guys, my name is Dan." Well, it's Ahegao, but anyway, Dan from Canada.
Well, actually, it's A3 Gao.
It is, but people only get that deep lore if they get our notes by being a subscriber. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Canada. And I've been a listener for about 4 years now. That's a long time. Thank you. And I've always been a film guy and an anime guy, but I really don't know any obscure directors to research. Of course, I know Miyazaki and Shinkai, but is there any suggestions you guys could give for specific creators? What are your personal favorites and why? Thanks so much. And I love getting into directors, the meats and bones of the people that actually help make the anime we love so much. And I thought it'd be fun to put together as a group, a little collective here, our own little iceberg chart. So if you've never seen an iceberg chart and you're watching the live video, it looks something like this, where at the tippy top of the iceberg that everyone can see, things are very popular. Everyone knows them. Your mom might even be able to know these items. But as you descend deeper and deeper into the depths of the ocean, below surface and stuff, you get the stuff that's more obscure and more niche. So what I did is I made a little iceberg chart myself. I didn't put any names on it. We're going to work on that together. But essentially, I made 6 categories. We have, the globally known. Anyone in the world might know this director. We have mega popular, extremely popular, or very popular, fairly popular, somewhat popular, and niche. And we're not going to get into the depths of, this anime director did one OVA in 1987 and you've never heard of him kind of thing. I think we're going to try to make a list of, in our mind, most popular directors, see where they fall, and maybe recommend them or not recommend them, or what we like about them. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I think we need to start at the top. And there's
Oh, yeah,
really
easily.
only one person that stands at the tippy top of the iceberg. And as Mr. Dan
Yoshiyuki
said,
Tomino.
it's always Tomino with you. I think we can all agree that Miyazaki is
Yeah.
on such a stratosphere. He's floating above the iceberg. He is, I think if you ask anyone, who's that famous anime director, they're going to say Ghibli. And you're like, close. I know what you mean, though. You mean the guy who hates anime.
They got the right spirit.
Yeah, they're there in
Exactly.
attitude. But I think
I mean,
there's no
he
debate.
got the Disney push at some point, even if it's not
Yeah.
anymore. So a lot of people know Miyazaki. I mean, they got, what is it? Not Howl's Moving Castle. Spirited Away won an Oscar.
Mhm.
So that's how, how many of these names we're going to say after this have an Oscar to their name. So yeah, Hayao Miyazaki is like the one that everybody and their mom knows, not just
My parents don't.
for sure.
I've tried
Exactly.
to explain it. They're like, "What's that?"
Fair.
But I think like the mere popularity of their work, if they know the work, then that translates to their popularity as a director, I think.
Yeah, so obviously we don't need to introduce anyone to Miyazaki, the king of all things Totoro and Princess Mononoke and most of the Ghibli stuff that most people know. So we'll put him in his own stratosphere, and I think we can move down, right? We agree that no one
Yeah.
is also okay. So
I
next,
agree.
Next,
But I don't know if
yeah.
we can do like I don't know if top to bottom is going to be that easy because if we all have like lists of people that we need to discuss, it's going to be hard to like already know where they're going to be placed without discussing it.
I think we start putting people on, and then we rearrange as we go.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, the iceberg is contrary to what you would think, fluid.
Exactly. It's made
It's
up
not
of
so rigid of a structure.
indeed.
Catch my drift.
So I think in the next tier we have like the mega popular. These are
Yeah.
all stars in their own right, but maybe not on the global renowned. And I think the next one, love him or hate him, is Motoko Shinkai.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Because he's
Well,
definitely reaching heights, but he's, of course, not Miyazaki level. However, I think he's fairly darn close.
So I mean, there are other obviously, this is multiple people go in this one. This is like the one that's more popular.
Exactly.
In
I
general,
was picturing
like,
we put 3 people up here.
only 3, because then I would say you would probably should put Watanabe, Shinichiro Watanabe. His Cowboy Bebop fame precedes him. And his essentially his like mainstay, and it basically what bleeds into everything more or less he's done afterwards. Oh, the Cowboy Bebop guy, right?
So I have Watanabe in the level below this, in the just very popular, extremely popular. So I think he goes in one of the two. But Motoko
Okay, fair
Shinkai, obviously, Your Name, just that alone, I think, vaults him into this category. But then you have
Yeah.
the stuff like Suzume and, what's the other one?
Garden of Words.
Yeah, I mean, that's up there. But, like, it's
Yeah.
not
So
on
I
the
w-
same...
Weathering with You.
Yes.
That's what you're thinking of.
We'll go with that one.
Tezuka then I would put here, because I mean, I have a hard time calling him niche, if you want to go
Yeah.
as far as that, and he should show up in, obviously, because we have to think, we're always thinking more recent, but he is the grandfather of anime, and he is known, especially in more academic circles for sure, in that regard, and more historical note. But I would put him in like there's
But
some
are
weird
we
names.
talking about lay people? Like the general public? Or are we talking about
I think we have to say within the anime sphere to some degree,
Yeah.
because I think as much as we love anime and we're like entrenched in it, I think beyond Miyazaki, a layperson would not know any
Most
of
of
these
these
folks,
directors, if any.
if
right.
any.
But
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the casual anime viewer.
I'm saying casual
Real-
anime viewer. I would say casual anime viewer has heard of Tezuka, but actually hasn't seen his stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Tezuka's is their favorite director's favorite director kind of thing. Like it's two steps removed.
So okay, I can see putting him a little bit lower.
I think we should keep Tezuka in our back pocket for now. I think I think he's unbelievably important, but I would argue he's more important as a animator and as a mangaka more than a director, if that makes sense. Like the same way like Walt Disney really isn't a director. He's, you know, the founder of a company and an animator, but like he's not known for his directing as much. So
then I would suggest that in that place, Hideaki Anno would probably be on this list at this position.
Agree. I put Hideaki Anno in the number 2 tier. Works like Evangelion, obviously huge gunbuster, Karikano, but also from like his live action Godzilla, Ultraman, Kamen Rider stuff, and he just like as a personality is huge, especially in Japan. Like he's a voice actor in tons of like
Blue Blazes.
Miyazaki films.
That was the name of Blue Flames. What was the show that's basically about Hideaki Studio Gainax's rise to power from when they were in college? Like,
him as a driving creative, I think is just so important in anime that, especially in Japan, he's well known, and I think he deserves a spot here. He might not be on the same level of like I go to him for his directing chops and his craziness, but I think you got to put him up there. And I think go ahead.
But before we start filling out Mega, I think we need to also consider Takahata, considering he is also Ghibli royalty, but just not to the level of Miyazaki.
Unfortunately, I would put him lower.
So I have Takahata lower. Takahata should be up here in the Mega. Takahata, obviously the non-Miyazaki Ghibli director. He's done Tale of Princess Kaguya,
preference of the Ghibli movies,
Grave of the
honest.
Fireflies, My Neighbor the Yamadas, and a ton of stuff even before Ghibli, such as Anne of Green Gables and Gauche the Cellist. So he should be Takahata up here in the upper echelon because he's so crucial. But I just don't think nowadays many people know him. I know.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately, I feel like he really falls into like the fairly category, where if you go like, oh, the other Ghibli director, oh yeah, but I mean,
this is
unfortunately Ghibli is
an Iceberg
very synonymous
of our personal.
So we're basing popularity by name recognition, not by the popularity of their works.
I mean, even then,
a little bit of both. Like
it's a bit of both, and like Grave of the Fireflies, people know of it, but like if you said, "Oh, Ghibli movie," like a lot of people don't associate that with like Ghibli.
Who directed Grave of the Fireflies? I guarantee you, 70% of anime fans say, "Oh, Ghibli directed," and you're like, "No, who in Ghibli directed?" They'd say Miyazaki, and you're like, "Okay, you're 0 for 2. Name the other Ghibli director," and there are other Ghibli directors, obviously, besides those two, but I think we
like
hold
Miyazaki's
off on Takahata. So I guess my final bid that I'll put out there for the Mega tier, which is second most popular, is Satoshi Kon, who had a very short run of phenomenal movies and kind of, unfortunately with his early departure, kind of martyrs him in some sort of like untouchable territory of people know him as the guy who made Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, Paranoia Agent, and then that was it.
I feel like his name is just so recognizable too.
It's very yes.
Even
I feel like even compared to the others that we have talked about, I feel like I would know a Satoshi Kon movie before anybody of those others.
And not just you, Caroline. Like people who are like movie film buffs and whatnot, like and people who watch movies, who tend to like to watch movies, are even aware of Satoshi Kon. If anything, and this sounds terrible to say, him dying probably was like the best thing he could have done for his oeuvre of work in a lot of ways, because he had no chance to ruin it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like, he's only put out bangers, and then he burnt out before he could put out and I say burnt out before, like he went out in a blaze of glory before any non-bangers could happen. So like it's a terrible thing to say. I'm well aware of it, but
giving like an artist, a painter, and they die and their works automatically become 10 times more valuable than they were before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to have Shinkai, which has these unbelievably lush and gorgeous films, meticulously animated and just easy on the eyes that anyone can watch. And Satoshi Kon's films are similar, but in a very different aesthetic with their very grounded, how humans move and move throughout their environments, but also like incredibly diverse topics and themes. There's darkness, there's light, there's joy, there's trippiness. He just touched on so much. So Satoshi Kon probably gets my vote of being up here for popularity, and I honestly highly recommend him as a director. Like, if you haven't seen his stuff, Andrew, check him out. He's a great person to, like, you'll see a consistent through line in how he crafts a movie, and it's, as Andrew indicated, though, like, film buffs study him. It's because there's just a mathematical artness in how he does things, and it's awesome. So I guess anyone else we think is like on that same mega popularity, and we don't need to limit it to just 3. I'm just trying to like funnel our pyramid shape to some degree.
I think it'd be appropriate to have 3 in this category. So I'm okay with limitation here.
Okay.
The next one is going to have a bunch of people.
I think so too. But let's for now, let's put in Shinkai, Satoshi Kon, and Hideaki Anno in the mega popularity, but things can change. And I think we already touched on him, but I think Shinichi no Watanabe, Cowboy Bebop, Lazarus, obviously just recently, and
Shampoo.
Samurai Champloo. I think he has to go
Randy.
here in the extremely popular. What
I
do you guys
agree.
think?
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, who else do we want to nominate for the extremely popular?
I was thinking Masaki Yuasa.
I'm not the one who said it, but
I know you didn't say it. I know you're not disagreeing with it.
How can you would disagree with this?
Because I don't think people know who Masaki Yuasa is.
I think they
they know his works more than they know who he is.
He has like a flavor of Satoshi Kon that is so recognizable.
So as the resident Masaki Yuasa fanboy, I originally had him in the fairly category. But
that's where I would have put him also.
But really considering how, as Caroline said, distinguishable his art style is, his involvement of like founding Science Saru and like being not just a director, but also, kind of the head of the studio for a time being and helping produce it, I think people just recognize him. I think, unlike a lot of other folks, for better or worse, you see a piece of animation cuts. Like, you watch Don to Don, and you watch that opening, and you can tell exactly where Yuasa's pen hit the paper. Like, he's just so iconic in how he does things that it makes name recognition. And then you have weebs like me just, like, glaze him on this podcast for days. So I'm saying I'm making him the most popular director. I thought I put him in extremely. I think he's got a strong case. And if you haven't seen Yuasa,
if people
Mind Game,
don't
Ping Pong, Tatami Galaxy, Kaiba, so much good stuff.
Devilman, Azoken.
Yeah, so much bangers, and I'd put him in the extremely. So
High
I put him in fairly.
let's see.
I put him at the bottom of extremely.
Let's see where he
personally.
lines up. Let's put him at the bottom of extremely for now.
But
And
I
we'll
put him in fairly. Because I think most people only know him for Devilman Crybaby, and even then, I don't know if that's like they know it's him. But I definitely would say that his works do get recognition. And to be honest, yeah, he grew out of the niche into the fairly is how I would put it.
Fair. He from the niche he emerged, but who do you think should go here, Andrew? Do you have any suggestions?
Okay, so I'm thinking about so let's see. Oh god, this is an interesting one. So we just talked about Hosoda. I think would be extremely
Still extremely,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I do think Hosoda could go here.
Hosoda
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would
possibly
be here or fairly.
I would. It's because Summer Wars happened. He did the original Digimon the movie stuff.
I think
So
movies
people
give
his name
you
from there.
a boost. Wolf
Yeah.
Children, Summer Wars,
Easily,
and everyone
yeah.
that you guys said here. I think Hosoda, and especially at the beginning, people were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's the next Miyazaki. He's the next person who's going to carry that torch." And I think maybe that was too bright of lights, but I think he deserved it to some degree. So I would put Hosoda in the extremely popular.
Then I would say like Tomino for Gundam, even if he's not doing anymore, but he does still have like a like brand recognition there.
I don't know. I never heard of the name Tomino.
I mean, Tomino is. I don't want to. Like, he's popular because of Gundam, and Gundam is so popular that it carries him through. He wasn't involved with every Gundam, but, like, you can't have it without
I mean, but his
him.
name's at the front of basically every Gundam show.
Exactly.
Him and technically Hajime Yatate, which is actually just a pseudonym for a producer group.
So
but
I
yeah,
kind of
and then Tezuka is the other person I would put in this area.
Yeah. I can see that.
And let's be fair, Caroline. Like, you don't know Tomino, but that's just because Mason doesn't talk about Tomino all the time. Like, I don't know if you would be so familiar with Yuasa if Mason wasn't so familiar.
No,
with
because I've watched
lauding
so much Yuasa stuff. I know Yuasa.
by choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
King Kong, the Tatami Galaxy. I've seen Devilman.
No, sorry, I forgot you hate Mecha. Never mind, my apologies.
Yeah, I hate Mecha.
That's why.
But
You don't
again,
know who Tomino is.
I
Okay.
do listen to people talking on Discord and things like that. I've never heard them mention him. So
Yeah, it's. Once again, as a director, I don't know if he is that important, but I'm fine conceding Tomino and Extremely, because even if he has just that one property, like, it's a big property, and he has done other things, so we can put Tomino in extremely popular.
while we're here, can I make another case for Takahata? Like, where does he go?
So Takahata, I'm between extremely and fairly. So here's the we'll kind of group the last couple I had collected, and we can see where the dices roll. So I have Takahata, maybe. I have Mamoru Oshii, who did like Ghost in the Shell, Angel's Egg, Urusei Yatsura, parts of that. Pat Labor.
Well, look, if you were watching any commercial for anything anime related from the visionary director Mamoru Oshii,
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I think Oshii could go there. I think Hiroyuki Imaishi from Studio Trigger and Gainax, he could go there. I mean, just for his appearances at like conventions alone, like I think he could be popular. Takahata, I think all or some of those guys could go in here. What do we think?
Just put them all in.
Just put them all in?
Put them all in. Put them all in.
No way.
Caroline, what do you think? Did any of those names be like, who is that person?
Quite a few. Can't remember the ones that you've said. I just feel like if we were to rattle off some names in our Discord, who are they going to recognize? I think they would recognize Takahata out of all of those.
I think they would recognize Takahata.
Our Discord. Well, remember this podcast has been lauding Ghibli since its inception. So I'd be surprised if anyone in our community did not know who Takahata was, if I'm being honest. So that's not an unfair metric. I'm just saying, like, this community is very Ghibli primed.
Yeah.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Takahata should be in Extremely for sure. Mid Extremely even. I think, and if we were just using our community as like a guideline, he'd be in global popularity. To be fair, because the podcast has talked a lot about Ghibli films, and Takahata, and he even got like Satoshi Kon got a whole when he passed away, got a whole episode dedicated to him, if I'm not mistaken. So, But yeah, no, I totally think
let's put
Takahata should
Takahata
fit
in
in
here just for our own morality, and so the chat doesn't blow up on us. I know we're not going to cover
I'm
every
pretty sure
director.
Chad is fine with Takahata where we were going to put him.
So Mamoru Oshii,
I think you should put.
I think Oshii goes here, just
Yeah,
for
I
his
think
like.
Tezuka goes here as well.
He's a little more of an
But
old head.
Osamu Tezuka, or wait, is that his name? Oh, I know it's Osamu, but
Yeah,
is it?
it's
I
Tezuka.
feel like that should go here too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what is it?
No.
Astro Boy. A lot of that like aesthetic has been used as like a retro aesthetic in in like a lot of things.
Yeah,
like,
we can put Tezuka here.
So.
Okay. Well.
And you know what? Fine, I'll concede. You can put Yuasa here as well, easily.
Yay, Yuasa. Okay,
I'll give
so we're
you
putting
that.
in Watanabe. We're putting in Tezuka. We're putting in some old heads here. We're putting in Takahata.
Because it's very easy to forget like the old heads, especially because a lot of the people who maybe only listen to the podcast might be more familiar with the old heads, whereas a lot of the people who interact on the Twitch or in the Discord may not be familiar with a lot of the older directors and whatnot. And also, in some ways, the question was about like lesser known directors as well, which is what we're getting to. Don't worry, A3 Gao.
A3 Gao.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So don't worry about it. We're not just gonna talk about all the famous ones. I have a whole bunch of lists of like randos.
Yeah, we're gonna get down there.
You two are gonna be taking over the conversation soon because I only have like one or two people on my list, and one of them might not even be on here because I just put him on here for the popularity of his works. I would have not known his name.
Give it to us.
I put down Tetsuro Araki for Attack on Titan, Death Note, High School of the Dead, Guilty Crown, Cabaneri.
No, that's a good one.
Just because the works are so good. I don't know fairly, but I think somewhat. Just because I don't know if people know his name. That's the thing.
I think he doesn't really have a fingerprint as a director in quite the same way that other folks did. Like, obviously, those are kind of similar in how they stylize the characters and
the
just
action.
the action and just very dark themes. I think we could put him somewhere at the bottom. I just don't think people know his name.
Yeah, so we can shelve that for now.
Yeah, that's a good call, though. So, extremely, we have Watanabe, Tezuka, Takahata, Oshii, Hosoda, and Yuasa for 6 people in the extremely category, which I think I'm good with. So let's move one step down the iceberg to fairly popular. I think, generally, this is like the average, the middle, the C tier, if you will, not in quality, just in how well known they are. I'm gonna put forward one I put in extremely, which is Hiroyuki Imaishi. You know him for Gurren Lagann, Panty and Stocking, Kill la Kill. Like, he is kind of the idea of what people think of Trigger. Obviously, those aren't all Trigger shows, but he's kind of brought that bombast and style to those shows.
Yeah.
I think similar to Yuasa, it's very obvious what his style is, and it's apparent, and people love it or hate it. It's really cool, and I'm a big Imaishi fan.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I also have another suggestion for this category.
Hit it.
Naoko Yamada.
I have her right next to him.
Oh my gosh, Mason, we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, Naoko Yamada, Keion, Tamako, A Silent Voice, Liz and the Blue Bird, Heike Monogatari, Garden of Words.
Yeah.
I mean,
I forgot she did Heike. I'm like looking it up. I'm like, she did Heike.
So phenomenal. I've had like the colors within on like my I can't wait to talk about this, the next what have we been watching, in my back pocket for months now. I'm itching because Yamada is phenomenal. I will watch anything she puts out, and I highly recommend if you're like, oh, want to go on a big director dive, check out her works. You won't be disappointed. So I think we can put both of them in there. Andrew, any suggestions?
I mean, I would put, I guess, Tomino here. I would put him higher, but that's just
I thought we put Tomino in extremely to give you credit.
Nope, you did not.
I didn't write it in because I didn't want my keyboard clacking too much on the recording.
That's fine. Yeah, and then who is the other person I had for here? Just give me a second. I don't really have many other names for here.
Okay, I can throw some names out there if you want then.
Yeah.
Suggestion number 1, Akiyuki Shinbo. Similar to how, Tomino was the force of Gundam and making that thing. Akiyuki Shinbo is the face in many respects of Studio Shaft, known for doing the Monogatari series and a ton of other things that are really based. Once again, similar to Imaishi, very iconic styling, and you could find 1,000 things that he's worked on. And even if he wasn't always the director, capital D, of each of the works he was involved with, he just has such an impact that his influence can't be understated. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm cool with that too.
Oh my
next.
god, I forgot somebody I think should be here as well.
Oh,
Is it
who?
who I'm about to say?
Oh my god, it's the Macross director. I forgot his name. That's the sad part.
So I have... who do I have? I mean, which Macross?
Shoji Kawamori. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. If you know Macross or whatever the other thing was called, Robotech, you are familiar with Shoji Kawamori. I think he is known for perfecting early on the Itano Circus. Well, not him specifically. Obviously, it's called Itano Circus for Itano Circus, but utilizing it in as many in his Macross works throughout essentially the decades he's been running Macross. And the only sad thing about this most recent decade is that he has not come out with a new Macross show to tell us about environmentalism.
Yeah.
So I would put him in fairly, but that's also just my mech design. And even I forgot his name.
That's fair. We can put him in
I don't know.
low,
I would not put
fairly.
him down in niche, to be fair. But I think somewhat maybe.
I think he's more somewhat.
Yeah.
But let's table him Kamamori for somewhat for now. I think other directors that I would probably put as fairly popular would be Kunihiko Ikuhara. He did
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Utena, Penguin Drum, Yurikuma Arashi, Sarazanmai. Once again, you instantly know an Ikuhara film or movie or TV series, whatever he's working on, when you see it. Very flamboyant, very cool, and love his stuff. I would also put Shingo Natsume. Bit of a new boy, but One Punch Man Season 1, Sunny Boy, Aka 13, Tatami Time Machine Blues. Like, he just has... He's new, sure, but I think his style is very refreshing. Similar to Nako Yamada. If he's on a project, I'm definitely watching it without question.
Cool. I'm
Cool.
okay with this.
Nice.
Yeah, that works.
Huzzah. Okay. So that means we have Tomino, either here or extremely, Nako Yamada, Imaishi, Natsume, Ikuhara, Akiyuki Shinbo for fairly popular. Good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with
Yeah.
that.
Sounds good.
Perfect. We're giving you so many shows to watch. I hope you're ready for it, Mr. Dan Hagao. Somewhat popular. I think Kawamori is fine here.
Yeah, Shoji Kawamori.
I think we can do that. I think I need to turn into some bit of an old head here with Osamu Dezaki. This is similar to Tezuka, where you might not know him right away, but he did like Ashino Joe, Onisama A, Golgo 13, Aim for the Ace. Like a lot of the... Whenever you're watching an anime and all of a sudden it like does a freeze frame on a really dramatic portrait and like the shading gets really intense and you get really dramatic lighting, you're like, oh, where did that come from? That came from Dezaki's influence. That came from his impact on so many things. And I think you got to give him some love in the somewhat category. Caroline, did you have any suggestions for here? You mentioned the Attack on
I think
Titan
we can
boy.
consider Araki for here for all of his action work.
Mm-hmm.
And Araki works, I would put Katsuhiro Otomo. I don't think we have him on the list. The Akira guy.
Yeah, I would.
I don't think it's per se niche because everybody knows Akira. Everybody and their cousin.
Yeah, and he
knows
did so many
Akira.
like side project where like director, like, hey, here's 15 directors that I invited to a big mashup. Like, watch a short from each of them. I like his pushing of creativity in the anime sphere. So I think Otomo would go here. I would put Takeshi Koike. He did essentially, you might know him best for Redline, but he did all these like dark Lupin movies. So very, adult themed, very violent stuff.
Worked a lot with Watanabe too.
Yeah.
But he's more of like, he's not much of a director. He's more of like an animator. Like,
Yeah.
but no. I would. It's fine. He's done directing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Especially because Redline. But yeah, no, it's just like. But a lot of his work, you'll see it more in like he does a lot of animation.
His cuts,
mostly. Yeah. So you'll see a lot of his stuff in that for sure. I'm looking at his Mal list.
Yeah,
and it's like key animation.
He's got to look to him,
on the
and he brings that
Animatrix.
into his movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. Lupin the Third.
This
he
one,
directed the pilot to the Iron Man anime from the 2010.
this one, I'm realizing I'm about to suggest is by definition niche, but feels dirty putting him so low, and that is Junichi Sato, which most people will be like, what? Who? I've never heard of this guy. So he is like the king of Yashike. So if you want the comfiest shows imaginable, you watch a Junichi Sato joint. So this is like Arya, the animation, Tamayura, Princess Tutu, A Whisker Away. Just the most soothing, calming shows, which are literally it's a niche. Like if you want the comfy shows, look up this man, watch his shows. You'll be asleep in no time, in like a good way. So he probably should go in niche, but he's just too damn important to the comfiness that I suggest he goes here. I assume you guys have never heard of him.
No.
That's okay.
But I've heard of the work. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it's tough to like divorce the popularity of the work versus the the style that this guy brings to the table. And like we said, some of these are visual styles, some of these are how they tell their stories. There's a lot of impact a director can have. So I'll put him in niche for now, just because I'm too cowardly to put him in somewhat popular. So who do we have for somewhat? We have Dazaki, we have Koike, we have Kawamori. We put in there. Did you want to put?
Did we put Araki and Fairly or somewhat? I've kind of gotten confused.
I don't want to type too much and mess up the the audio. I think we put him in somewhat.
Okay.
I think he's someone who has unbelievably important works, but I can't really pinpoint him in them.
Yeah.
And I would bet most Attack on Titan fans wouldn't know his name, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Which I've said way too often this episode. Okay. Do we want to move to the niche stuff, aka the stuff that's really fun to talk about? Because these are like the stuff that like no one will be referring to. Andrew, any suggestions?
All the directors I have for I guess this would be considered niche, but some of them aren't. I don't know if they would be considered niche, but just because of the works they worked on. But essentially what I did is I went through anime on my anime list that I had marked at like a 10 or 9 or something really high. And I picked the ones that weren't obvious by some like one of the crazier, larger directors. And I went to something like this. I have so I went and I found, oh, that's the director of the OP. Never mind. But never mind, ignore that one. Where is it? The first one I think I took was, I think I looked at Escaflowne, and I looked at the director for Escaflowne, and that name is Kazuki Akane. And they've worked on like a lot of storyboards.
Yeah.
Huh?
I can't say I know them.
They've done a lot of storyboarding, but they've also directed some of like the Code Geass, Akito stuff. They did, but it's a lot of storyboards. But what I know them, I say I know them from, but what a lot of they worked on was like Escaflowne, which was just clamp visual aesthetics in animation, and even when you take clamp aesthetics, you still have to do something with them, right? Because they are mangaka by nature, and they have some really nice designs to work with. And so that I said that he also worked on Birdie Decode as a director, but yeah, but mostly he just did like a lot of Escaflowne and a lot of storyboarding. So
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I feel like
That's
that's in
why I say
the
niche.
sub basement of niche. Like,
Oh well, then
I think if this
all
was
right,
like,
moving on.
like, I think that's a good option. I think just there's like too many directors that are in that same echelon.
All good. Next on my list, Shinji Takamatsu. So they directed essentially the first 100 episodes of Gintama. That's not why they're on my list, to be fair. I have them on my list because they also did some School Rumble. They did the Daily Lives of High School Boys. They did some Grand Blue directing. They, but why they're on my list is it's not for. Is it for Gundam Wing? No. It's not for Gundam Wing, is it? I think it's for School Rumble. It's for School Rumble. But they also did some Gundam Wing directing. I think no, they should be on my list because they did some directing on. I think it was Gundam X. There we go. They did a lot. I got them for Mobile Fighter Gundam X or whatever. I don't remember the full English name. But anyway, Gundam X. And so that's why they're on my list. They did a lot of directing, and I think that puts them in niche because they also did 100 episodes of Gintama.
Just a lot of like comedy shows between Gintama, High School Boys, Grand Blue. Like, I think
A lot of mecha and a lot of comedy.
yeah,
So
sure, we can put Takamatsu for niche.
this one's an animation director next. All right. Let's see. This one worked on a creative director on Redline. This was Katsuhito Ishii. I don't know if you have him on your niche list.
I mean, I was just looking at like directors, not animation directors. But
No, but he's done. He directed I think a lot of shorts, but he worked on Redline, and I thought, why not?
that's I think that's too deep.
Okay, fine. Yuzuru Tachikawa did some directing on. He did some directing on Death Parade, which is why I chose him from my list. He also did some Mob Psycho 100. And then a lot of like random episodes here or there. So he did an episode of Kill la Kill. He did some episodes of Zankyo no Terror. He did the storyboards for Yuri on Ice. So he directed some OPs and ED. He did one of the EDs to Chie Hayafaru. So niche, unknown.
I'd put Tachikawa in niche. I mean, I love his stuff from Death Parade to Mob Psycho. He even did the Fantastic Blue Giant movie. I feel like he goes in I haven't seen enough of him yet to like make the list. So like he goes in the same kind of bucket as Tomohiko Furukawa from Review Starlight, Rie Matsumoto from Kyoso Giga, Blood Blockade Battlefront, all that stuff. Kenji Iwaisawa from like Angaku and the upcoming 100 Meters. Like these are all great directors who I feel like just haven't put out enough stuff for me to be like, oh, they have like household name acclaim. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe not yet.
Maybe not yet, but like there's so many people, like the guy who did Bocchi the Rock, Keiichiro Saito, Kai Ikekarashi from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Season 2. I know like Emery and Raggedy would like put a gun to my head if I didn't mention like Megumi Ishitani, who did like the One Piece fan letter thing, but like I haven't seen enough other stuff from these directors to be like, yeah, they go at the top of the pyramid or on the pyramid at all. So I'm not trying to poo-poo, I'm just trying to gatekeep. You know, there's a difference.
No, I got you.
So here's some of the other folks I'm thinking with very like distinctive directing styles or visuals.
Oh, I had one last name.
Yeah,
sorry.
lay it on me.
Mamoru Hatakeyama and
I
he
have no
worked
idea
on
who that person is.
Rakugo Shinju as a director.
Ooh,
And he
this
also
is
did a bunch of episodes of Kaguya-sama: Love is War.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I was like, but he's only really known for a couple of things.
Yeah,
So I wasn't
We're in
sure.
the niche category, Caroline.
I know,
I know,
I
but
know.
it's. I'm trying
Otherwise,
to
we're
think,
gonna have nobody here.
even folks with like not many things. So, for example, I'm thinking Hiroko Utsumi. So the person who did Free, Banana Fish, Skate to Infinity. Like that's a small sample size, but a very
Yeah.
distinctive
But it's distinct.
persona. I'd say Kenji Nakamura. He did Mononoke, Suritama, Kuchu Barranco. Very colorful, bright shows, works. Very recently, I'd say Tomoyuki Itamura, who's on like Call of the Night, Bonitas no Kart, and a ton of like the recent Monogatari series. Those are all very distinctive. I think we should give credit to Yasuhiro Takemoto, Full Metal Panic, Fumofu, and Second Raid, Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, Hyoka, Dragon Maid, essentially one of the big creative directors of Kyoto Animation that was tragically lost once again in the arson attack all those years ago. So props to him. Yeah, I mean, Kenji Kamiyama, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit, Eden of the East. Like, there's so many good directors out there that have like a very distinct thing that you can point to of like, oh, this is their kind of work. Go ahead, Caroline.
Yeah, I was just looking up somebody I thought of, and I thought they had more like a distinct style based on one of their shows. But Hiroshi Nagahama, who did Mushishi,
Mm-hmm.
he also did Uzumaki, the unfortunate result of that. Now and Then Here and There,
Okay.
and School Rumble. But I thought he had a more distinctive style, or he also did Flowers of Evil. So he had some really big stuff.
Very wildly
I thought
different.
he had I just thought he had a more distinct style to him.
And honestly, it's not that I don't want every director to be like, oh, that's instantly this person. And, you know, I'd say that's kind of impressive that he managed to merge into so many different, not just styles, but just types of stories. And sure, put him on the niche. This is
All right.
this is what Mr. Ahegao came for. Is just us saying, hey, check out this person. They did a bunch of good shows. And it kind of, when you get this deep into the iceberg, it kind of dissolves into just a mass of, oh, I really liked Hanasaka Uraha and Snow White with the red hair and Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season. If you like those kind of shows, check out more from Masahiro Ando. Like you realize how deep just anime goes. It's not studios that make anime, it's people who make anime. And these are just the directors. And we could go on for hours saying, oh, what about this guy? What about this girl? And I think there's a ton of stuff out there. So hopefully this didn't dissolve too much. But is there anyone else we want to shout out? Any other names?
No.
People that we want to say, check them out?
No.
Well, I think the top
do
of
we
our
have
list looks
Omori here?
good. Who?
Takahiro Omori. He did Durarara, Bakano, Natsume, Samurai
No,
Flamenco.
but I would put him on probably fairly, I would say. I think,
But nobody really knows his name, do they?
I would put him on somewhat at best.
I feel like
It's the Araki problem, right?
yeah,
He has some good
Yeah.
works under him, but like, and they may be distinctive in a way, but not in a way that is recognizably them.
Yeah, I
Somewhat
agree.
is fine.
So I'll put him in somewhat.
yeah. The problem is like, so the Narita-verse, which is like Durarara, Bakano, all those kind of stuff, like those all kind of bunch those shows together. So like you think of them as one big collective unit, but you don't really think of the director who does them. But
Yeah.
they are one big, especially in the West. I feel like they get a lot of love. So niche somewhat. Chuck them on. Who cares at this point?
I'll put him on the low end of somewhat.
Yeah, there you go. And maybe we'll update our show notes with what we actually came up with. But I think we probably just gave you 40 directors of varying popularities that if you want to, you can start with and do the deep dive into all that is anime. Now, Let's see.
Did we rattle them off?
I don't think we could remember all of them, but let's do.
I thought you were taking notes in a different way.
With what? My brain? No, I don't
know.
have that.
This is why you just needed to type them out, Mason, while I vamped for you. I vamped for you, Mason!
My keyboard is too clicky. Read
All
off the
right.
top 3 levels.
So just for a reminder for people, all right, our big top of the iceberg is Miyazaki. For obvious reasons. I think we didn't even need to say it, but we're saying it anyway. At our mega level, we have Motoko Shinkai. Is that really his name? I thought it was something. I thought it was Makoto. Makoto? Okay. Anyway, because I'm thinking of the major from Ghost in the Shell. Motoko! Shinkai. Satoshi Kon and Hideaki Anno. Also for obvious reasons. Extremely popular. We've got Watanabe, Yuasa, Tezuka, Takahata, Mamoru Oshii, Mamoru Hosoda, not to be confused with Mamoru something else. Then we have our fairly popular actor. People. Mamoru something, yes. Yoshiyuki Tomino, Naoko Yamada, something Imaishi, Akiyuki Shinbo, and Ikuhara. In our somewhat, we ended up with Shoji Kawamori. I don't see you writing, Mason.
Mike, it will click. Osamu Dezaki, Takeshi Koike, Junichi. Sato was a niche.
Tetsuro Araki, Takahiro Omori, Osamu Dezaki, Shoji Kawamori, and I completely ignored a whole bunch of names also. And then in our niche, we stuck with Junichi Sato, Hiroshi Nagahama, and I think that was
Tomoyuki Itamura, Takahiro Igarashi, Junichi Sato, Hiroki Utsumi, and a ton more. You have a rewind button.
You can listen to the episode again.
Listen to the episode.
What's the point in making the we gotta write notes, guy.
We will write notes.
No, Mason's writing the notes, but for the listeners, you can find the notes more complete, or
in the future,
and you can just re-listen to the episode as well, because we're such fun, entertaining people, aren't we, Caroline?
Very.
If someone was really ambitious, they would listen to the episode and then take the names and actually make the chart for us.
Oh yeah.
And
then share it on the Discord
and just paste it in there. Why don't you take your problems and push them onto listeners?
And then they can share it in the Discord, which you all should join because it's a great place. And then we could link that into the show notes that you can also go and get as our extra content. Boom! Platform integration, baby.
Problem solved.
All right, I'm reading the question of the week.
Do it.
All right, so we have an in-show weekly trivia for everybody. And the question of this in-show weekly trivia is, what is the name of the black cat familiar in the show Secrets of the Silent Witch?
Anime Addicts, the AAA podcast, is always trying to bring you new and exciting ways to enjoy our content, and now we have an exclusive member-only RSS feed on the site that is going to let you access our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties episodes, all from your favorite mobile apps. That's an additional 8 episodes of content per month just for you, and you can listen to it through Apple Podcast app, you can listen to it through Podcast Addicts, Pocket Cast, Overcast FM, Downcast FM, etc., onward and onward. So many mobile apps for you to choose from. If you were holding back on supporting the podcast because you didn't like listening to our extra content through our website, now you can get it and listen to it the same way you enjoy all your other podcasts. So pitch in, help out the podcast, do a good thing, and enjoy all the extra content we have for you. Just go to AAAPodcast.com/join and you will get all this extra content and an exclusive member RSS feed for you to enjoy. That's AAAPodcast.com/join and support the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast following that in-show trivia news break. We didn't have any news break because there wasn't any news to give you, so it was a little abbreviated this time, and that's fine. Our trivia question, though, was what is the name of the black cat familiar in the show Secrets of the Silent Witch? The answer is Nero, which sounds like a Devil May Cry character. Let's see what happens next. Well, we normally give thanks to the supporters of the Discord and the podcast, but I don't have that list because Mitsuki didn't give it to me. So if you did this week, and I'm sorry, but you'll get a thank you next week. But thank you regardless. There you go. Anyway, mailbags. Here we go. Come on. I said here we go.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
Yes, a mailbag. You can send a mailbag at AAAPodcast.com. Click on the mailbag button and give us any question you like. Any question. And if it's good enough, it might even turn into a full main topic like we did this episode. This one comes from Sajenther. He's a frequenter of the mailbag section. He says, "Hello again, my addicts. What from the anime sphere would you put into room 101? Whatever goes in will never be seen or heard again. Maybe you hate flesh fangs, shotacons, filler episodes, or even censorship. Whatever goes in disappears from the world forever." So one of his suggestions, flesh fangs. Throw them in there. It's dumb, and I don't like them. But more than that, I feel like this would be the very first thing I would throw in. Villains licking their lips and or weapons. I hate this with a burning passion. It's so gross and dumb, and the moment they do it, the anime I'm watching, it's taken down like a full point because it's so tropey and I don't get it. Like, ooh, you're bad. You're a bad guy. I got it. But also over the top eating sounds. Like it's like a misophonia thing. I don't need to hear every time they take a bite of something. Just throw it in room 101, please and thank you. Mason, do you want to go?
Oh, I guess I can go.
Do it.
Picking at random if you don't want to, it's okay.
No, it's censorship definitely has to be the thing that is the most handedly egregious thing, and that it just makes the show experience worse for everyone across the board. Like, yeah, flesh fangs are annoying to some people, but some people think they're cute. Or some people think filler episodes are really dumb, but there are some good ones out there. Like, I think censorship across the board is something that no one wants. Like, if you show me Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure smoking, but they can't show it, so his face is just dark for some reason, just like a weird shadow that just cuts off half his face. Like, that's bad. No one wants that. Stop it. Cut it out. If your show has gross elements in it, just show it.
I feel like the worst version of, or worst interaction of censorship I've seen in anime was Tokyo Ghoul. Like, it's hard to find the version where it isn't blacked out halfway across the screen because they don't want you to see blood. It is.
Oh, you think that's bad?
Horrible.
You should have seen the first episode of Terraform Mars. Oh my god, that was, I think. I don't even know if it was animated. It was that bad. The censorship part. Holy cow! I chose Lolicon because look, I don't need my 6,000-year-old dragon to look like she's 5. You know?
Yeah, I agree totally.
I'd rather she be a big titty, busty goth mommy than a 5-year-old.
And I think just like a quick follow-up question from the chat, just ever so randomly, Skylab asks, what's the best side for pork chops? Gonna have to say applesauce.
Ooh.
Maybe some potatoes, like oven potatoes.
I'd say some mashed potatoes. With big old like garlic chunks in it.
Ooh, yeah.
Garlic is the answer, actually. Just garlic.
All right, Andrew, do you have a suggestion?
Yeah,
for pork
what's
chops?
your best pork chop?
Oh, I don't eat pork
companion?
chops, so I actually have no idea.
Okay, what?
Okay, sorry, that's a lie. Okay, so the only pork chops I eat are salt and pepper pork chops, and they have them at this Chinese restaurant I go to. And so the best side for those is because it's salt and oh, it's so good. It's salt and pepper, like the breading, oh, it's so good. Oh, I want some. Oh my god. Anyway,
okay,
I
why do you
eat it
even
with...
say you don't eat pork chops? It sounds like you love
because I don't
pork
normally
chops.
eat pork. I don't eat pork chops.
I don't eat them, Caroline.
I specifically eat.
It's a spiritual experience, okay? It's above eating. You eat to live. I eat to live.
I specifically eat the salt and pepper pork chops, and they're really good. And I usually have them with it comes with a side of rice. It comes with rice, but that's not the side they were asking. But I don't eat pork chops in the standard American pork chop, you know? Like, I don't really eat that. So I couldn't tell you.
Poutine is the answer. Here we go.
I'm glad that we got to the bottom of this.
Impression
I'm just
time.
saying, the salt and
we're
pepper
gonna
pork
be doing
chops are the bomb.
Impression time, believe it.
It is round 2 of the summer 2025 impressions. We have currently passed City of the Animation and the new Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, which means we are going to be reviewing those 2 shows when they finish up in the future, which means there are 4 slots left of reviews. When we complete our 4 weeks of impressions, any show that didn't get passed, we send out to you, the listener, on this big long list where you can say, I want them to review this show and this show and this show and whatever. And whatever 3 shows win the listener choice during the 6 that we've passed, 4 reviews to make up the 9 reviews we do of the summer 2025 season. No sequels past season 2, and we'll just see how it goes.
And if we don't pick 6 shows, we would
we'll give the listeners either a retro review or some other choice. But this is a pretty...
Which are
I don't think that'll be the case this season.
I think this is a pretty good season, so I think we're going to use up all 6 host passes.
Sure.
But we
shall we get started?
Shall see. Who is doing this first impression?
That would be moi.
Ooh.
First up on the chopping block today, Bullet. And here's a quick synopsis. In the near future, civilization has collapsed, the world a wasteland. And the people in this city kind of leave impoverished lives. We have main character Gear, works in a junk shop, also makes a living stealing stolen goods with a friend that's a robot and a friend that's a bear. They get a job to steal a very important item, could get themselves out of poverty and doing the things that they really want to do. But they are pursued by deadly assassins. They have car chases and battles. But what they don't know is that the item that they stole holds a secret that could shake the very foundation of the world. Dun, dun, dun. So, first impression of this show, I've only watched like 1.5 episodes. I was literally finishing up the second episode when the show started and I couldn't finish it. Busy week. But I immediately clocked this show. It's super zany and very uninteresting, which is a terrible duo. Terrible. Because I'm just watching a lot of shouting, colors, and chaos without any interest in it whatsoever. That is my short review.
Yeah, this is a little painful. Like, imagine Ocean's 11, where you have the cool team pulling off a great heist, but the team is full of like high school dorks which have like a misplaced swagger because they just got like new leather jackets after they watched The Matrix for the 4th time, and they're just like, they think they're really cool and they're not. Like, this is some slick action, wild cast of characters, bumping music. It's just, there's no...
The OP is pretty good.
There are elements of this show that like could be fun, but they just don't have that artistic capacity of deftness, and it just reeked of like Sabekui Bisco disappointment vibes.
Yes,
of just
very much so.
But this show doesn't even have the mega crab to save it. It just is. There's some good ideas here. It just feels very ham-fisted and not that engaging. What do you think, Andrew?
Oh yeah, so I like the heist that they did in the first episode for that brief section. I thought that was a fun. It was very heisty presentation. We're doing these crazy things, and then everything around it was kind of generic. The second episode, I liked all the assassin concepts because it just seemed silly and ridiculous, but at the same time, I'm just like, nothing to... I only watched 2 episodes. It wasn't because I was busy. It was because I knew after 1 episode that we weren't passing this. And I was just I was going to give it a couple. And it was mostly to see if I wanted to continue watching this when I had more free time after my convention. And I have a bunch of other things I'd rather watch first. And this is, if I was going to watch this, would still be pretty low on my list. It's fine. And if you're just looking for some crazy zany action that's kind of ridiculous and the jokes are silly, I say give it a shot. But unfortunately, this doesn't even hit like a... It was zany, but it didn't hit this like eclectic factor I like to have with my zany. And it's not like it was uninteresting, it just didn't hit this like weird twist kind of fun that I needed to be like, oh, I can't wait to watch more of this, and you guys are crazy for not enjoying the zaniness.
Yeah,
so,
zany is the opportune adjective.
Yeah, so I can't.
And on
pass
top
it.
of that, on top of all this, it's on Hulu, and I hate watching anime on Hulu because Hulu is one of the only services that I only have the commercials for. And it was a struggle. Because I watched all the commercials at the front of the episode. I watched all the commercials, and then the episode started, and I missed like the first like 5 seconds of it because I was, doing something else because I was watching commercials. And I'm like, oh, it's starting. They said something, I didn't know what they said. Let me go back. So I go back 10 seconds, and then the commercials start again. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I have in Canada. It's on Disney Plus.
That kills me because I have Disney Plus, and whenever a show says it's on Disney Plus, I know it's not. I know it's on Hulu instead.
Yeah, that's because here Hulu doesn't exist, so they combine Disney Plus and Hulu. So here I just watch it on Disney Plus, no problem, no commercials.
Why do Canadians get everything good?
We don't. I mean, we do get a lot of good
I
stuff.
don't know about everything, but I would say this is the kind of show where watching one commercial is not worth it. It's not a show worth passing. And it's not worth watching
it's not
any
just
commercials.
one commercial, it's several.
I know, but just even one
at the
commercial.
bare minimum, if you can't even watch
okay.
like a 15-second commercial before watching it, nah. But
it's more like a minute and a half, and then they do it again mid-episode.
Yeah, but like just to reiterate, it's not that it's a bad show. It's just it's an okay show that's kind of zany, but it's not doing anything interesting enough for us to want to continue it.
Yeah.
Except for Mason actually thinks it's bad.
It's pretty bad. You put a polar bear with a aviator hat on. Like
he's also a gambler.
Yeah, I'm okay. Let's boo this show.
All right, so the next show is Reborn as a Vending Machine. I Now Wander the Dungeon, Season 2. And this show is all of you cowards are going to pass it because you are cowards for not understanding the greatness that is the show. Essentially, a guy died and he was a vending machine otaku, and he's reborn as a vending machine. He's in an isekai world that he's gone to. He's found by this girl who is super strong, and she carries him around places, and he uses his vending machine knowledge to basically help people out. Yeah, so this is the second season, and it picks up more or less directly after the end of the first season. And so, yeah, it picks up basically after they continue down the storyline. I'm trying not to spoil season 1 either here, but it's essentially more adventures with the vending machine friends and his slight harem that he's also building up along the way, which is kind of fun. And so one of the things I do like about the show in general is that it's sort of like an inversion on the overpowered MC trope in a lot of ways. Like, the guy's a vending machine. He's kind of overpowered, but he's not overpowered because he has all of these crazy abilities. The only real ability he has is like the shield, and he can turn into different vending machines. But because there's so many different vending machines in Japan, and you'll see like some that I'm like, okay, I guess this is a vending machine now, as you'll see in the first couple of episodes.
But he
he
also somehow develops telekinesis. I think we are now entering overpowered territory here.
Even then, he can only use the telekinesis very limitedly. Like, all his abilities have limits. His telekinesis is not like he's moving up people. He's moving essentially his objects, like, out of the vending machine. It seems like he can't use it to move. He can't even use it to move himself, the telekinesis. So he has limitations, and I think that's why I think I enjoy this show in the isekai genre, because he's not super overpowered. He has some magic abilities, but his magic, like, a lot of the times it's not like he's using, like, he had to use a vending machine defibrillator to revive people, and that was only baby Maywere, right? So, and he's using vending machine abilities in creative ways. I kind of love it for that, and so I'm gonna pass
And
it.
I agree on a bit of that, because I only watched a couple episodes, and by the second episode, I'm like thinking to myself, okay, like, it can be a bit creative because he can't really talk. He only has like canned phrases that a vending machine in Japan would have. But in order to expand his vocabulary a little bit, he just takes the syllables that he can say and kind of mishmash them together in order to form other sentences now. But it's still limited to the syllables that he has programmed into him. So he has to describe things in a very peculiar way. And to that extent, I kind of like how they're doing that. However, it's reborn as a vending machine. Now I wonder the dungeon. It's not a great show. It is okay, so I think one of the biggest sins I see here is that it is trying to be dramatic but not know how to balance that out with the fact that it is a comedy show. It is a lighthearted show. So in these first couple episodes, and they have a gigantic battle, which apparently has wreaked havoc on the village, and people are dead. But they don't say who is dead. All of the people they know are conveniently alive, and everybody's happy-go-lucky about it until they see the village in shambles. But then immediately afterwards, they have like a lighthearted like they have a very funny scene or something like that, but with no transitional change up. It's like they don't know how to tone the show. So they are trying to be dramatic, but then immediately forget how to change their tone.
Here are 3 things. 1, we reviewed season 1 on episode 697. So if you want the full review, just go there. We've already reviewed the show. We don't need to review it again. Yeah, the show is a silly show. It's a silly premise, and it knows it. But to Caroline's point, the execution of the dialogue, the visuals, the sound, the plot, I don't care. I don't care at this point. It's not great. I hope everyone, though, caught Caroline's phenomenal pun of saying that Boxo used canned phrases.
Oh.
So credit where it's due. You do learn some general vending machine trivia. I do like the opening, how it is incorporating the credits with like the various
I thought that
Boxo
too, yeah.
products. I think that was like, I think the show has these little nuggets where you're like, that was a good, like, only this show could get away with it because of its absurd premise. But look at this cover. Like, did a just God make this? Look at those, like,
Yes.
as a society, we have to at some point be like, no.
I think that encapsulates the show in such a great way. It's ridiculousness surrounded by seriousness, surrounded by ridiculousness.
I think
As you
Andrew
are
called us-
enlarging the photo of the poster, sorry, I just wanted to make a note. You are enlarging the photo of the poster, and that, gets a little pixelated as you enlarge it because it's not meant to get to that size.
No, of course.
That is how it looks in the show when they do they show some characters that it looks like they zoomed in on a bigger shot, and it looks pixelated, and they do that kind of frequently.
Look, just be honest. You just don't believe in human vending machine love, okay? Let's just be honest. You're just anti-human vending machine love.
I am fully expecting Boxo to turn into a humanoid robot because there has to be a humanoid robot vending machine in Japan. Then that will be the way he can find love.
Andrew is calling us a coward for not passing the show. He's only able to say he passes it because he knows that we're not gonna pass it. And
Well, I was gonna wait. Sorry. No, that's not why. I would pass the show. I would review the show. I know you guys can't pass it because you want to watch other things.
we've
but that's
already
fine.
watched season 1 and talked through it. We don't need this.
I watched season 1, talked through it, and started season 2, and had no idea who these characters were except for Boxo and Lamus. I had no idea what happened in the last episode. And they mentioned like 2 characters had to be revived by the defibrillator. I'm like, wait a minute. Who are they? What did they do? There was a battle? And what is happening? And those were all the questions I asked myself within the first 30 seconds. So if it's so unmemorable, it cannot pass.
And with that said,
I don't know if that's the metric we should use.
That it was boring and unmemorable, I think it's close to a metric.
Trust me,
that
there's
we
a lot
could
of
use.
bad memorable things that exist out there.
That we passed for review? No.
Anyway, next up, Mason.
the next show is my third and final selection of the season, and I think I've done pretty good with picking my shows this time around. But that is The Summer Hikaru Died, and essentially it takes place in this rural Japanese village. 2 best friends, Hikaru and Yoshiki, are just hanging out one day, and Hikaru just seems a little different. He seems a little bit off. He went missing in the woods for a while, and ever since he returned months later, he just hasn't quite been the same. Ooh, how mysterious. Yeah, so this is a kind of horror-y, spooky thing. I'm trying to relate it most to what was the show? Summary on
Rendering.
Island. What was that?
Summertime Rendering.
Summertime Rendering, where it's kind of got that sci-fi. There's a darkness on the island. Who's gonna survive? Doot. And it's I'm enjoying it. I'd say it's tastefully artistic, but still silly enough for its gags. I'm really enjoying the show. It's got this. I'm trying not to say
I just
too
want
much.
to push back on one thing you said, Mason.
What's that?
Didn't like half the cast want this show? Didn't you just roll really well? Isn't that how you
Maybe.
ended up
I don't
with
know.
Because I feel like everybody wanted this.
I have-
mean, I saw everybody
Mason?
wanted this. And
Did I
didn't
even
go
pick
for
this
it.
one?
Yeah, Mason got a 14 on the roll, so he's actually like third for best roll, or sorry, for worst roll, third or fourth for
Oh,
worst
so you
roll.
didn't pick this one?
Who
Wait,
got this
this
show?
is
No, it's at the top of his list. I'm the
Everyone
only
who rolled
one
better
that
than
had
me
it
didn't
at
pick
the
it.
top. I'm the only one that had it as number 1, and I had a 5, so
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
gonna get it.
I
I
got
thought
lucky.
everybody wanted this. That's why I put it lower on my list.
You were
Because
smart
I
to
just
do
like
so.
I'm pretty sure we're getting it.
But
Anyway, sorry.
I got The Summer Hikaru Died. I got Panty and Stocking, and I got City the Animation. I think
So we're just watching. This is Mason's
this is
season,
my
apparently, we're
season,
watching.
fellas. And
I mean,
you're just along for the ride.
okay. I guess that buries the lead where I'm going with it.
I-
So for me,
yeah,
this
yeah.
show is basically the vibes of what I thought Uzumaki was gonna give me.
Hmm.
I think this one definitely gives me a little bit more chills when I watch it. It definitely plays with sound a lot better than I think Uzumaki did, even if its animation is probably, I mean, the animation's better and worse at points, but it's not like, but it gives me the creepy vibes in the way that I think I was hoping Uzumaki would give me when we watched it. And you know what? Like, look, I'm here for some yaoi horror. Look, if you know, like, the show is interesting. I'm curious to see what it does. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes that I watched. It's a solid show. Yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed it.
I totally agree. It has a good creep factor, and I'm hooked. I think Mason really downplayed how good it was because he says it's good, but I expected you to go crazy for it.
So I do think it's definitely a step better than Summertime Render. I think if you were looking for like a true blue horror film, I think this is adjacent to it. Like, it's not really scary, but it is that creepy, crawly, uneasy. I think it's just really solid. I think Andrew mentioned it really well. The music, especially like how it's diegetically merged between like what people are doing in universe and then the soundtrack that comes in. Some of the artisanal shots, the directing, I like a lot of how it's presenting the world, the life and decay juxtaposition.
Yeah.
The show is working on another level than what we typically get with a show, and I'm enjoying it.
I don't want to say
on
just
like
the music.
creepy side version, there's also like a comedic version of this where
Yeah.
you know, in anime when somebody has like a very powerful reaction, maybe the background will have like a very like a striped colorful background behind
like
them
the
as
speed
they're like
lines.
and they'll do an overview shot of him and the character still has that background behind them, but everything else is completely normal. And that's such a funny thing that they do. A few times that they've
Very
done it.
metatextual.
Yeah. So I feel like this show is like Summertime Rendering, Higurashi, and Parasite had a baby, you know? A lot of those kind of elements come
And it's
together.
a delicious baby.
Yeah, sure. And I
Basically.
think one of the best parts of this show is how the main character kind of deals with Hikaru throughout the first few episodes, because so much of it is a perfect melding of trying to accept what's happening and move forward with life, but then also having to mourn the loss of his friend that is still there, kind of in the same way, but also not. And he doesn't just, it's not like a linear thing. It is like a back and forth, and it comes in moments where you don't expect it, and they symbolize it with different things. And it's like, you really sink your teeth into the show. It's so
got
good.
metaphors. It's got yaoi love. It's got good direction. Like, what more do I need? Andrew, you're going to say something about the sound?
Yeah, so it's not just the music and the soundtrack. I mean, like, actual sound design.
Yeah.
How a lot of like the steps, the Foley, the sounds in the forest, how the sort of surround nature of it, like, it really gets that creepy factor a lot better than I feel like if this was stereo, Uzumaki was like in mono, felt like. So
Yes, it's supernatural and full of fantasy things that couldn't happen, but it pulls you into the world. It feels grounded. It feels like this place could be happening, and I think it's a pass.
Yeah, and that one monster in the forest, the one with the giraffe neck going back and
Whipping
forth.
back and forth like a...
It's that does give a bit Uzumaki, what's his face? Junji Ito feel. That gives it. And I'm so excited to watch this show. I'm actually surprised it's not 2 core. It's only 1.
Yeah, I think we just associate it so much with Summertime Render. Like, oh, when's the second half of the mystery going to happen? Oh, it's already here. So
Yeah, I know, but just because it's on Netflix and it's going to be a standout show of the season, based on the genre it's going for, I just expected 2 core. So I'm a little sad that it's not.
Let's hope it Sixth Landing, the summer that Hikaru died, gets the pass.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
All right, what's next?
Next is a show that was on my list, Secrets of the Silent Witch. So here's a bit of a synopsis. We got main character Monica, the Silent Witch. She's the only mage in the world that can use enchanted magecraft. And she's known as a true hero. She defeated the legendary Black Dragon, which happens quickly. It's barely even a part of the show. So the thing is that she's actually super duper shy. That's how they put it in the synopsis. And so the whole reason why she decided that to cast spells silently and figured it out on her own is just so she can avoid speaking in public. So she has zero self-confidence, but now she is tasked with secretly guarding the second prince in this high school. So she's undercover and she needs to keep it together to face evil forces targeting the prince, and also deal with being in high school.
I think
That's
if
the
this was a weaker season, this would have more of a fighting chance.
I agree.
As it is,
Yep.
it's just not quite there. So I do like elements of it. It looks pretty good. It's got that comfy cottagecore thing going on. And yes, our main character stumbles and stutters her way through life, but it seems like she meets some really positive characters. Like, it's good feel good. She meets people who want to help her, and she wants to help them, and they're buddies once she learns to talk to them, but it just is a little too much, I think.
Tropey?
Yeah.
I'd say that.
I don't know. Like, I think the show has some good stuff it's working with. It just isn't wowing me. And I think there's just shows I'd rather watch and review and discuss more this season. But if someone's like, oh, have you been watching the show? I've been really digging it. I would completely understand.
I think the main negative for me is that she is Komi, she is Bochi, she is Bochi the witch. It's that quality that does not make for a very fun main character, in that I have to, every single time she's on screen, I'm like, okay, when is she going to go, and, cry, and then hide her face, and then stutter her way through life, and it's not fun to watch that. If it was a little bit less dramatic with her shyness, I think I would enjoy the show a lot more. She can still be shy. She can just be very quiet and say very short sentences. And I don't need to hear stuttering all the time. But I will say I do enjoy her cat. I think the cat is funny. And whenever she faints, it's a very silent, like, dunk, and then she faints. And I think I just, that's funny to me. I am enjoying the show, though. Despite my negatives, I am interested in what's going on. So I think I will continue it either way. And I think it's a strong contender for listener choice.
Andrew, any further thoughts before I rip it up a little bit more?
I enjoyed the show. I think I watched a couple of episodes of it. I knew the main character would annoy Caroline. That was like, I looked at this, I'm like, yeah, Caroline's gonna hate this one. But I like that they did give her moments where it's like, oh, this really is just like an issue. Like, this is a problem she's having. It's not that she's incapable. It's just that this is really hard for her, because she has a whole diatribe in like episode 2 where she goes off about how the prince has the golden ratio.
Math.
That
I love
was
math.
hilarious.
And that was just funny.
That was too much, though. Like, you can't.
No,
that was perfect.
I need to take, whenever that happens, it's like a breath of fresh air that she's actually talking.
You can't go from the main character who might literally throw up on a character at any moment because she's so nervous, to being like, I'm a mathematical wizard. Like, I get that that's a juxtaposition.
No, actually, I think you can. I think that's more common than people realize. I think sometimes,
if you get into their interests,
it's just not charming.
But even like me, I'll even use myself as an example. It may not seem like this because I'm on the podcast and I'm familiar with you guys, so I'm very talkative, I'm very opinionated, but if I'm in like a completely new group of people, I'm kind of like, whatever, I'm like moving through, I'm listening, but then someone will say something about it's like, you like anime? And I'll just talk about anime, and then I'll be like, oh, right, I need to pull it back a little bit. So I get that. You can go from 0 to 100. But
yeah, it's anime, so it's exaggerated.
She's going from 0 to plus ultra. It's a little too.
It's not passing, but it's not failing because it's bad. I think it's just that it's like a solid upper middle class when there's a lot of upper class contenders this year.
I don't think it'll be memorable past this season or the next season, but I think it's a fun watch if you have like if you're just looking for something a little extra. I think it's a good watch.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it. But unfortunately, Secrets of the Silent Witch is not going to make the cut.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You knew I was going to use this
Shame.
drop because it's a witch.
Shame.
It's too easy. Too easy out here. We have one more show for impressions this week. What is it?
Detectives these days are crazy.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. I just zoned out for a second. Yeah, so this was my pick as well. I guess I'll put it this way. I only watched one episode of the show, and I only watched one episode of this show because I saw the first episode, and I also knew it wasn't gonna pass. Like that, as simple as that.
Man, I'm over here patting myself on the back. Oh, Mason, I did such a good job picking shows. And Andrew's like, I watched one episode of mine, and I gave up hope in my hopes.
I loved it. I would probably I'm probably going to watch the show on my own. But it's the thing where essentially, and the basic premise of the show is this genius detective from like 20 years ago is now not as well liked. He was a genius teen detective, and now he's an adult and not as much of a genius detective. He gets an assistant who has a pocket dimension in her clothing where she can pull anything out of, and it has definitely humor that is based in old style of humor, very old style of humor, and a lot of referential humor. And they go around and they solve cases while he's completely inept of what current detective techniques are of the day. The show is ridiculous. I enjoy it, but I would never pass it for the podcast.
If Bullet was zany, the show is wacky. But at least the show is meant to be a comedy. And I will say, to give the show credit, the voice actors and actresses like gave it a good effort. If you want, the people that probably had a fun time recording it,
they're committing.
It's Kana Hanazawa, and she raps in it.
Yeah, and
in the ED. So if you're gonna give it any points, you're gonna have to give it points.
Yeah, I think Junichi Suabe is like the main. Like, they lean into it, they commit to it. I literally started it not knowing it was supposed to be a gag show. And I'm like,
neither.
Like the visuals are a little stiff and unexciting, but like maybe if the mystery is like really well written, it can transcend some production shortfalls. And then I'm like, oh, this is not a mystery show. This is a gag show.
Yeah, because the first half of the first episode, it's played like a normal general comedy. And then the second half is all gag stuff. I'm like, whoa, that's weird.
And nothing wrong with that. It just, we've already passed 2 comedies in Panting and Stalking and City of the Animation, and just those are just more compelling in so many ways. And this is just, even as someone who's deep in the weebs as I am, like some of the jokes here are really couched in some deep Japanese references that I'm just like, they're making a face, but like I don't get that second layer or that the pun from the Japanese. So it wasn't a great time. I get what it's doing, but I'm just gonna fail it.
Yeah, I only watched one episode. I will say that I did appreciate the gag of him sending her off to get rid of a bee's nest and her thinking she's about to take on the mafia. And all of his instructions are relating perfectly to how to take out these yakuza, and then she comes back fully bloodied up. And I did think that was a bit funny.
With a yakuza apprentice on top of that.
But I do draw the line in the fact that there's no way this guy does not know what a cell phone is. Maybe he doesn't know how to use one. Maybe he's used to like a flip phone, but he has no idea. He has no idea how he looks at it and he's like, what's this? How are you a detective? How are you once a genius detective if only 20 years later, or I don't know, 30,
they still use fax
know what a
machines in
phone
Japan,
is?
Right? They still use fax machines in Japan.
Sure, but he has to have seen a smartphone in his dealings with. with PI.
I think that's part of the gag is that
I know it's part of the
and
gag.
that's like that's what you're like.
Too
Okay.
unforgivable to be a gag.
I don't know if it's unforgivable, but
It's
yeah, I get it.
unforgivable.
We good to fail this one?
All right. Yeah, again, not because it's a bad show. It's just because it's just not the kind of thing I think we're gonna get much enjoyment talking about on the podcast.
They have some good comedic faces, like ultra realistic faces for some gags. But yeah, it's not gonna work.
That is one big pile of shit.
There
As
we
I
go.
say what I said.
And with that, we have gotten through our second round of Summer 2025 seasonal impressions, which means we have now passed City of the Animation, the new Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, and the Summer Hikaru Died. We have 2 more weeks left of impressions, 3 shows left to get a pass. Then just keep your eyes out for the listener choice poll and make sure you vote so we can review the shows you want. And please don't make it Reborn as a Vending Machine Season 2, please. Thank you very much.
Please.
Please make it Actually, yeah, right. Please don't make it Reborn as a Vending Machine 2. Everybody always does the opposite of what I want on this podcast.
Ooh, there you go.
So yeah, don't make it Reborn as a Vending Machine Season 2. That is the one thing I don't want to happen.
There you go. But what we do want you to happen is head on over to AAAPodcast.com. Send us some support if you want. Listen to our bonus content. Leave us a nice review if you would like. And I really appreciate you to come to the Discord. Come to Anime Club. It's a grand old time. And finally, we hope to see you next week. We got another week of impressions, another fun main topic with a whole new cast of crazy characters. And we will hopefully see you there. Thank you all for listening. Bye-bye.
And another reminder, next week's show will begin at 11 a.m. on Twitch because we are going to be early birds. Have some brunch with us. Maybe we'll have some mimosas.
Wow. Crazy. Kids these days.
See ya.